we got to start by discussing all things Dak Prescott and that deal that's just not getting done. The deadline is approaching, guys. Dak has until 4 Eastern today to sign a long-term deal with the Cowboys. Dallas has never had a quarterback play under the franchise tag, but the deadline is now only 6.5 hours away. Yeah. Shannon, how do you feel right now about Dak versus Jerry?
I mean, I feel good. I don't know how Dak feel about Jerry right now. Skip, look, we can go back and forth, and we've gone back and forth about this, but I think that Jerry Jones have shown Dak just how much he feels about him, how he feels about him, excuse me. Skip, this thing could have been done last offseason. You don't wait a couple of days before the season and try to rush to get it done, because Dak says, hold on, we have February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and here it is a couple of days before the season starts. Now you in a rush to get this deal done. Jerry showed Dak what he thought of him when he marched to the podium, him and Stephen Jones at the Combine 2 off seasons ago. It says, yes, we would like to get something done with our quarterback, but he's going to have to work with us. So he's already telling you, I want you, but you need to give me a discount. Skip, we go get that car. Skip, when them cars go on sale, you get your car. Normally the car, especially if it's a convertible like convertible driving around, don't think I don't see you riding around with your little top.
Not me, my wife.
She ain't driving that car.
I don't drive that car.
Skip, and it's like, okay, when it goes on sale, I'm going to purchase it. Well, Dak Jerry Jones is telling Dak, when you give me a sale or you go on sale, I'm going to purchase you. I'm going to give you what I want you to have. Now, it's reported that Clarence Hill, as you mentioned, Clarence Hill and James Slater are going to be on here, but he reported, I think, a couple of days ago, Skip, that they haven't talked since March. Since March. So they haven't talked since March, and somehow they're going to get a deadline done. Okay, so it's, 9:30 Eastern time now, Skip? So basically, you got, about 6 hours? So they're going to get something done in about 6 hours. When they haven't gotten anything done in about 3.5 months. I just don't see how it gets this far when it's barely moved, really, Skip, since September. It didn't move once he came. I think the agent approached Jerry and said, I wanted more money.
Yep.
And since they had those conversations in March. So basically, very little movement have transpired since then. Skip, I believe this has done a lot of harm. Because when you tag a player, I don't care what they tell you. Oh, that's a lot of money. We say, yeah, but we don't believe you long-term. Yep. Because if we believed in you long-term, you get a Chris Jones type deal. You get a Myles Garrett type deal. You get a Patrick Mahomes type deal. Yep. Not this franchise tag. And we've seen guys, Kirk Cousins, we knew from the start, Skip, they don't believe in him. Yep. But if you believe that's your guy, you go ahead and tie him up. Says, okay, we got a young guy, we're going to tie him up. So, Skip, for me and Jerry, looking at Jerry's history, he's really never had a problem paying guys that he believes in. He's done it since he's on the team.
Put an over in front of him.
Okay.
Right? Overpaying guys.
So he's really never had a problem doing that.
Yep.
But for some reason, he remains very hesitant to give Dak the long-term deal that he's seeking. Now, it was reported that also, Skip, Dak wants a 4-year deal, Jerry wants a 5-year deal. We just don't do. So in other words, Skip, Jerry wants all the terms. I want you to give me a discount, but I also want you to give me the payment plan that I want. Wait a minute, Jerry. Either you give me the years I want, I'll make some concessions on the money, or you make some concessions one way or another. But you can't have it both ways, and Jerry wants it both ways. He wants a 5-year deal, and he wants Dak to cut him a discount. Dak says, I can't do both, bro. There's no way I'm going to be able to do both. So, Skip, it's gotten very contentious. No movement since March, and this is supposedly your franchise quarterback. Skip, it's not looking good. I've said all along I believe Dak was going to play on the franchise tag. I've seen nothing that makes me believe that they're going to get a long-term deal in 6 hours.
And Shannon Sharpe loves it. Shannon Sharpe does not love the Dallas Cowboys. Shannon Sharpe wants to see their salary cap wrecked or their locker room split apart. One way or the other.
Why would the locker room be split?
No, because half of them are on Dak's side. Half of them say, well, Dak, maybe you asked for
No. Ain't nobody on Jerry's side. They want you to get that money.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Let me say up front, silly me, I'm still holding out hope that they are feverishly negotiating as we speak. Jerry told me the first time in 1989, maybe the first time I sat down with him in 1989. That's a long time ago. First year he owned the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. Deadlines make deals. Jerry has always been at his finest in the 11th hour when it comes to negotiating. Jerry loves to get pushed up against the clock and just says, let's get this done. I'll go here if you'll go here, and all of a sudden the ice thaws, and here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping against hope that is happening as we speak. For Jerry Jones, 6 hours could seem like 6 years. You could get it done if you really, really wanted to get it done, and he's gotten this kind of deal done in his past numerous times. What does he say? He always tells the Dallas reporters, when have you ever known me not to get one of these done? Now? Like right now?
But why build up that bad blood, though, Skip?
Okay. All right, so back to the bad blood. I'm going to say this one more time. You will not find a bigger defender or supporter of Dak Prescott than this guy sitting right here. I am hoping against hope. I want him to retire a Dallas Cowboy with 2 Super Bowl rings. I would love to see that, and I believe he is capable of that. Do I think he's Patrick Mahomes? I do not. Could he maybe turn into Patrick Mahomes someday? I don't know. It's a long shot. But again, the point is, there's only one Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly.
And he's your guy. And this has been my guy from the start. I love Tom Brady, too. There's only one of him. I have called Dak Brady-esque.
Yes.
And I have thought even that filters into the way he carries himself off the field, because I thought he would be the first to say, I will take a little bit of an America's team discount here because I do make a lot of money off the field from my dozen-odd national TV commercials that I'm doing that I did last year.
Right.
And I thought that Dak would be the first to say, you know what? We're building a potential dynasty here. We got a juggernaut of talent around me. Pro Football Focus even yesterday came out with the 3 Dallas receivers, including CeeDee Lamb. They're ranking #1 among wideout trios. Okay, there's nothing not to love about this team going forward because they did significantly improve the defense. And I do believe Mike McCarthy will be some upgrade over old 8-8 himself, Jason Garrett. So if Zeke's going to have a bounce-back year and the offensive line is still, I'm not saying it's dominating, but it's still a top 5 offensive line, and you do have a new weapon in CeeDee, and you did keep Amari for what it's worth, but he's still there. And Dak has to look at this and say, man, we could go places for a while now. We could go on a run here, but I have to make sure that we have enough cap room to continue to build the supporting cast. That's what Tom Brady said for 20 years in New England. He did.
But, Skip, the difference is that Tom Brady saw nobody was making market value. He sees Amari gets above market value. He sees D. Law. He sees all the linemen, Ty Smith, Zach Martin, Lyle Collins. He sees Zeke. Everybody around him is getting market value or above, and he says, you want to give me below market value.
Which brings me to this moment, this flashpoint moment. And all of a sudden, Dak couldn't be in a worse place at a worse time. We're in a pandemic. I think the cap just might plunge next year and maybe even the next year, depending on the revenues generated during the pandemic season we hope is going to get played.
Correct.
Fans or no fans, it's looking like they announced in Philadelphia yesterday. The
no
manager
large
said,
gatherings.
No. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a season with no fans. Well, fan-induced revenue at ballpark, at
especially in hotspot, Skip. You're looking at California and Texas and Florida.
Okay. Texas is maybe the hot spot right now, especially in Dallas. I got a lot of friends there, and they are in panic mode. Okay, so the point is the cap is going to go down some, maybe a whole lot. So Jerry has to step back and say, well, I got to sort of guard that bottom line here a little bit. And now it brings me full circle back to where are we now, and to the Clarence Hill report. Todd Archer of ESPN said the same thing yesterday. No talks. No talks. Jane Slater, we're going to have her on also, Clarence Hill and Jane Slater. She's with NFL Network, and she's been all over this story. And she said yesterday that she was told that Jerry at least reiterated to the Dak camp, we are where we always were. We stand by our offer for what that's worth. And she reported a little lower than it has been reported. She said it was 33 to 35. I'd heard up to 36 a year. And then she said 100 plus annually. Well, I don't know. Remember, you always call me on this one. Does that mean the real guaranteed money, which is called guaranteed at signing? If that was the real guarantee, that would be pretty good. If that's just that broad guarantee.
Injury guarantee.
Yes. Okay. So just for the record, Jared Goff, and this was September of 2019. He got 57 guaranteed at signing.
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
so it's the whole guarantee is 110,
Right.
57 at signing.
Right.
And Carson Wentz got 107.9 overall, but 66 at signing.
Right.
That was in June
Right.
of 2019.
Correct.
So they're a year and a year plus
Right.
that they got their money over.
Correct.
They've been making their money.
Right.
So the point is, Yahoo reported that Dak and Jerry, it looked like they had a deal. Jerry basically announced the deal to the media after the first game and said, we are very close. It is imminent, was
Right.
the word. And one of the reporters said, define imminent. And he said, I'm talking about days, not weeks. Days,
Right.
we should have a deal. That was after game number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened. He had a big game in 2 at Washington, big game 3, Miami at home. So that was Giants at Washington, Miami. Shannon Sharpe is telling me garbage, garbage, more garbage. And he lit them up. And he had a QBR average of 90 in the first 3 games and led the league. And you're saying, I'm discounting, I'm not buying.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, according to Yahoo, the agent for Dak, Todd France, then he suddenly announced to Jerry Jones, he notified him that our demands just went through the roof. And Jerry said, no, we had already agreed on the money matters of this. You know, the money had been...
The framework, and we've already outlined that.
And now we just got to cross a few T's and dot a few I's. That's why the deal was imminent. Right. And listen, Jerry Jones has a terrible temper. Ask Jimmy Johnson. Mm-hmm. And I think he lost his temper at that point. It was reported that he was miffed at Dak and that he was mad at the agent.
Right.
Miffed and mad.
Right.
Bad blood started to simmer and then seep into that relationship that wasn't great to start with because, to your point, you've made this many times, Dak, to his credit, just said, arm's length from Jerry, I'm going to be the leader of this franchise in the locker room. Right. I want everybody to be able to come to me and trust I am a player's player. Right. I'm not the owner's player.
Correct.
Okay, so great, good on that. Mm-hmm. I'm all for that. The problem is we have hit the wall right now where it feels bad blood-ish. And remember, Dak announced, how long ago was it? It was June 22nd. He just flat out announced, I'm signing the tag right now. Well, you could have waited until today to sign the tag.
Right.
Well, I at the point, that first point, I thought, well, is that a PR move just to make Jerry look bad? Like, he's got me, I'll just go ahead and sign this to try to put some public heat on him to go ahead and do a long-term deal? Or was it Dak just saying, heck with you?
Right.
You know, if this is the way you're going to play and you won't even return our phone calls or whatever it was. And
plus, I think the thing was, Skip, is that, you know what? Knowing Jerry might be devious enough just to pull the tag and says, okay, Dak, go find the car.
You could protect yourself.
Right, so let me go ahead and get my name on this. This is $31 million against his cap.
Fair enough. So, bottom line to everything we just discussed, it feels like a sad day to me. And I hate to be a pessimist here, but it's feeling like a dark day in Cowboy Nation because it's not that Dak is leaving, because he's not leaving.
Right.
It's not like Dak is on his way to the poorhouse, because he's not on his way to the poorhouse. He's going to make $31.4 million, which is the 8th highest salary of any quarterback. That's higher than Matt Ryan or Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers, so not all bad. But to your point, and one that I've made many times, nothing good ever comes from that franchise tag. It creates
distrust.
It creates suspicion on one side, and on the other side, it destroys trust, where you're looking sideways at each other like, do you believe in me? I don't really believe in you.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe in me, I don't believe in you. And the bad blood will start to seep deeper and deeper into the relationship. And the pressure will start to mount on that guy. Once again, he's being thrust into a position for the second year in a row. You're playing for a new deal.
Right.
I don't love that. I don't love the locker room. I don't love the distraction. I don't love the lack of comfort zone. I don't love the message it sends to the football team. Again, Jerry's not all in on the quarterback right now. If Jerry's not all in, are we all in?
Right.
We think we are, but we're not sure.
Right.
So all that adds up to what just happened. I'm blindsided by this because of what you just said. Jerry's reputation, he's almost notorious for overpaying his stars. He comes to love them like sons. Maybe he doesn't love that guy like a son. But look what just happened. Amari Cooper got $20 million after he quit 3 times on the road. What?
Yes.
And DeMarcus Lawrence, the harder I look at that contract, the worse it gets given his lack of production last year.
Yes.
He makes $21.5 million a year. It's a lot of money, man. And Zeke got $15 a year, and I'm starting to think Jerry won that deal, but Zeke didn't give you $15 million bang for your buck last year because Amari, D-Law, and Zeke all had career worst years last year after they got their money. So Jerry, you could argue, is sitting back right now saying, I can't do it again. I just did it 3 times and lost.
Well, it's just hard for Dak, Skip. It's just hard for Dak to see everybody around him get paid. And then now it's his turn. He's waited patiently.
I got it. I got it. But remember, he doesn't have the greatest bargaining power right now. He doesn't have the best leverage because I keep reminding everybody, going into last year, the players voted on the top 100 players in the National Football League via NFL.com.
Correct.
He didn't even make the top 100.
No, he did not.
And I was outraged over it, but Jerry's got to be sitting back saying he didn't even make the top 100.
But the problem that I have with this, Skip, when Dak Prescott was taking them to 13-3, and he won Rookie of the Year, and he made $400,000, Jerry Jones had the pom-poms on, saying what a franchise quarterback he's got. When he struggles a little bit the next year, but he's like, you look at the injuries he had, he says, I think my quarterback played unbelievable. Then he follows that up, wins the division, and wins the playoff game. Yeah. All your fans, Dak is better than this guy. Give me Dak over Russell Wilson. Give me Dak over Aaron Rodgers. Now it comes time to get paid. Oh, Dak doesn't deserve a $20 million. You see how it flipped?
Okay.
Dak says, hold on, wait a minute. I'm the same guy that won those 2 divisions. That's been underpaid for 4 years.
What do you always tell me? I agree with that. But it's what have you done for me lately? And lately what he did was, after a 3-0 start, they really struggled. He started to feel the heat. He started to crumble. They ended up at 8-8. He missed the Pro Bowl. He missed a lot of throws down the stretch that he didn't miss the year before. And again, it's now. What did you just do for me? Not that much.
Hold on. What about those stats you were talking about? About they had 400-plus yards, and they won by 10 points and all that. Where are all these stats that you were giving me during the season when I was trying to tell you? You said nothing about Dak was not performing up to task. You said
I did at the end. I didn't love New England or at Philly.
Yeah, but I was talking about New Orleans, and I was going way back. I was like, no, everybody, Dak is this. You just a Cowboy hater. Now everybody, Dak is not worth this. Skip, you cannot expect Dak to give you a discount or take comparable money to Wentz and Goff, considering they had still 2 years left. Dak is free. So that's at least 20% more than what they got in bonus money.
Okay, now we get to the bottom line X factor to this discussion, and there's been little to no reporting on this. And that is exactly how much is Dak an agent demanding? What are they demanding? No reports on that. I was told early on by someone who's in the middle of this who should know, Dak's agent is, and this was the quote I was given, is overplaying his hand. I'm sort of projecting this out, that they were in the 40-plus million ask range. Because they were looking at Patrick Mahomes getting 45-ish, which he did. I think they educated guests correctly. And that they wanted Dak at least in the ballpark of what Mahomes was about to get. So their demand was 40-odd, I don't know, 42, 43 million. Again, it could escalate through the 4 years. But the point is, I think Jerry just said, that's too rich even for my blood. I do overpay, but I can't go that far because he's not that guy. Not yet. He's 1-2 in the playoffs. Again, I love what he's made of. I don't think he's the most talented quarterback in the history of quarterbacks, but he did have the greatest rookie year of any quarterback I've ever seen, especially coming out of the 4th round.
Through the first 4 years of their career. Who was better, Romo or Dak?
That guy.
Okay, Jerry had no problem.
But I thought that guy was better than Romo at every step and stage.
I mean, Skip, think about it. Think what he's done. He's won 40 games in his first 4 years. There are not very many quarterbacks that can say they've done that. He did that. So no matter what you think about him, Skip, and remember I was talking to you, I said, Skip, this is a Dak, this is a Zeke-led football team. You was like, no, it's Dak. Even everybody, the Cowboys, our quarterback is good. Now all of a sudden, it's time for him to get paid. and you bring up every
Paid
negative.
what? Paid Mahomes ballpark money?
Well, you know already.
I can't defend that.
Okay, I'm saying. So are you? So Dak, I don't see a scenario, Skip. The going rate now moving forward for quarterbacks, you got to start with $200 million. I don't believe there's a quarterback.
$200 million what?
Over 5 years.
Okay.
So you're looking at $40 million. You're going to have to give him a 5 year. So Deshaun.
How much of that is guaranteed? Half of it?
Well, he's going to have to get Skip. He's looking at least 15 to 20% at the time of signing more than what Carson Wentz got because Wentz had 2 years left on his deal.
I am good with that.
So I believe that's where he goes. But Skip,
and I'm good with more than Jared Goff, considerably more. Yeah. There's some middle ground that I was hoping Jerry and Dak would reach today,
right?
Where it's 38-ish, it's 39-ish.
Right.
Maybe they're 2 years at 40,
right.
At year 3 and 4.
Right.
There's some way to get this done, unless it's do not invite them, unless they fell completely apart and Jerry lost his temper.
Well, you already say Jerry's like that. So you said when they pull the rug out from under. Yeah. Well, and so here we are, Skip. We're 3 months in. Dak looks at his phone. It's from Jerry Jones. WYD. I know you're not in that. What you do. Mm-hmm. Dak, NTTY. Mm-hmm. Not talking to you.
Yep.
Jerry texts back. K. Dak texts
Jerry
back.
would not text back K.
Jerry, you know what I'm saying? Jerry, Dak hit it with this right here.
Right.
So we almost, Skip.
I don't think that exchange transpired. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's me? That was me? That was me?
I think that was you to me. That's what I get from you on a nightly basis, but that's okay.
My bad, Skip. Yeah. But, Skip, I just don't see. If you've had no movement, basically you had no movement from September to March, no movement from March to July. Skip, what makes you think they're going to get a deal done? They couldn't get a deal done in a year, but they're going to get a deal done in 6 hours.
You're almost certainly right, and I'm holding out hope. I'm sorry.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.